Martin, welcome to episode 85 of Illuminating Rounds. You're looking always well and enjoying
I've
your...
had a shower. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice,
Yeah.
whether you
Okay.
need it or not. And I've come back from holiday. I've been in Sicily. You've been enjoying yourself as well, no doubt.
Yes. Yeah. Not as much as I would be as I was if I was in Sicily.
No,
But my grandfather was in Sicily in the war. He didn't enjoy it that much. Yeah.
he did. He was very good. You might have told me, but tell us a little bit about what he did in Sicily, because it's...
Not very much. I mean, he was a Marine, but
Yeah.
he landed on the first day of the landings in Sicily, but he didn't see action. I don't think he was like a sort of a frontline infantry. He was infantry, but he was attached to a heavy anti-aircraft battalion, something battery or something like that. So I guess is that like security and things like that.
Listen, it's more brave than what I would do.
Yeah,
So
true. I don't walk in his boots at all, really.
No, exactly.
But so he was all over the place. He
Although
was in.
I was going to say, you did teach in Dagenham, so
That's true. Yeah. I did 9 years in Nam.
But but he was okay. He got through the war. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, he was in Egypt for a long time. He was at the Battle of El Alamein, landed in Sicily, and he was on his way up Italy when they withdrew them back to the UK for Normandy. Landed in Normandy on the 10th day, and was moving forward with the advance all the way through to the defeat in Germany. Yeah.
Wow.
It's an interesting thing is that when he was an old man, because that's the only time he travelled abroad was in the war. But as an old man, he wanted to go abroad and see a bit of the world. He went back to all the places that he'd served in, which I thought was interesting. He might have wanted to go somewhere else, but no, he wanted to go back and see those places.
Wow, that's very cool. Very cool. Well, very impressive stuff. We're going to look at a place in Germany today. We're looking at the Good Shepherd scenarios that were played in the first round of the tournament. Before we do that, big thanks to Chris Gammon. Chris, I know you've been a supporter of the ASL Scenario Archive for a long time now, and you've switched over to Patreon, so we appreciate your patronage. Thank you for joining up, and thank you to everybody as well who's in our Patreon. We're going to do the giveaway today is between two people who uploaded some Vassal templates, Mike Grogan and Tim Reed. So thank you guys for doing it. And I'll also do a demonstration of where you can find those as well. I think if we can try and get some good Vassal template files up on the archive, it makes future play-ins of scenarios a little bit easier, and obviously we'll improve them as they go on. So the Good Shepherd, Martin, should we have a look at this scenario and see what's going on? Is it 8 play-ins we've got to go through today?
Correct, 8 games. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's have a look at the scenario. We're going to start with my game against Richard Dagnall. Richard Dagnall, I have never played before. I've met him a few times. He is an absolutely amazing guy. He's full of stories. You've played him as well, haven't you, Martin? He's
a big character, Richard. Yeah.
He absolutely is. He hasn't been well lately. He's doing okay, but he's one of these guys that's. He's definitely lived a life worth living. He's done all sorts of things. He's got stories. He's a smart guy. Half the time we were talking about politics. Half the time we were talking about other stuff, and it left a slither of time for ASL, which we stuck in this game. So let's talk about the Good Shepherd. What's going on in the scenario, Martin?
So this is the Germans defending, and you can see them set up on board C on the bottom there. And the top, you've got a Canadian force of infantry, and I think you're the Canadians in this.
I'm the Germans.
I'm the Germans in this, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you've got the Canadian force set up there. They've got, and of course, a significant number of reinforcements that you can also see lined up ready to come on. The Canadians have to capture 4 multi-hex buildings on board C. Germans in control of them at the beginning. I think there are 5 of them. There's 6 of them. They need to control 4 at the end of the game. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Key things, of course, you've got a couple of hips. So the Germans got quite a big hip gun, 75mm infantry gun. And I wasn't sure what to do with. Well, I didn't. I played as the Canadians anyway, but I wasn't sure what the trenches were for. It's a couple of trenches. It'd be interesting to see what different players do with those trenches, actually, because I would have been at a loss if I'd been defending.
I'm intrigued to see how many people put a trench in a paved road. I think that's going to be.
That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
later.
I didn't know because, of course, the place you want to put them in is like F2, F3, F4, will give you a little way to get back over into the buildings to defend, and you can't do that.
It's funny that you say that because I've just realised now you're saying that's something that happened in the game
Right.
I was in. But we'll see that later.
Yeah. Now I didn't do what.
Two mines, of course. Of course, the mines are a bit more easy to decide, how they might be useful. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, exactly this. So on the mines, Toby's advice is to put them at the back, isn't it, and to have them as the kind of the last ditch defence, which is of course the correct thing to do. Me paying no attention to Toby, thought I would put them up front. My idea is always to break the person's morale before we have to play another 3 hours of the scenario. That's my.
It's really interesting, isn't it? But I think that's my instinct is to do exactly that. But I see, like Toby's point, because at the end of the scenario, you're kind of grasping for the victory, aren't you? Just about get a half squad into that building or something like that to win. Yeah. And the mines are just take away that chance or whatever. So
anyway. it just feels like sometimes I've already resigned before they've got to that last hex, and therefore the mines haven't done anything. So I don't want that to happen. I want them to. Now we are allowed one unit. Is it one something up on board?
Yeah, one squad equivalent.
Yeah.
And then there's no bore sighting as well. And
there's no bore sighting. Okay, I bore sighted. Okay, well I bore sighted but didn't use it, so that's good. All right, and we have one little tank, don't we? Kind of floating around here, and they have their Wasp, which is the flame-throwing tank, which has got a very good smoke rule in Chapter H, which for those that have read Chapter H's notes are rewarded by the fact that you can place 2 smoke counters in one shot, which is kind of cool. So that's
that Wasp is very, very powerful, isn't it? Because it can fire 12 flat against guys in TM from 3 hexes away, which gives it a lot of protection for Panzerfausts.
That's right.
Stuff. But it's open top, so it's vulnerable as well. They're all 3 Shermans, aren't they?
Yeah.
3 Shermans? Yeah, 3 Shermans.
So I did some stats on this to look at how likely or how many shots you should get off on a B11 weapon. And on average, it's between 9 and 10. 9 and 10 shots before you can expect it to break. So it's actually it's pretty good, and it goes down. It doesn't go down too much on breakdown of 10. It's still very, very similar, but then breakdown of 9 really starts to drop down. So that's where you start to get like the 5-6 shots and something like that, on average before it breaks. And obviously, we can break on the first couple of shots, very easily. All right, so we're going to whiz through my game. So in terms of my setup, I've got some dummy units on the right-hand side in N3. I've got some dummy units somewhere else. I don't know where they are. So we get no concealment to start with, obviously, because they are all on board, or there's some units on board. So just the dummies in N3 to try and prevent the run around the right-hand side, which I felt was a potential weak spot. Richard kind of doing what I think most people will do, which is kind of look strong in the middle and then sort of spread out from there. And let's see what happens. Now, one of the challenges is that this is a very, very small map, although it obviously looks big because of the size of the whole screen. The issue is that it's not very far to travel, and I think we are very attuned in ASL to know that we've got to go fast. We can't delay. And in actual fact, I think one of the challenges here for the Canadians is not to rush. I think you've got a lot of time. And so it will be interesting to see. So we've got first things first happen. We've had some guys running in down here on armoured assault, and the medium machine gun with the leader has started to roll some low numbers against these guys.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because those Canadians on board are only really 6 hexes from the furthest hex that needs to be captured.
Exactly. And you've got 6
bear in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So effectively, just as Toby would say, you measure it out, and you don't even need to move. You could just advance prep, and almost be there. And I think that's one of the challenges. So we've got the half squad here reveals himself, and has a little bit of first firing.
Yeah.
When I first set this up, I was assuming it was Bocage, and because of my horrendous play of some of the Bocage stuff last time, I had to look up all the rules of ward advantage and this, that, and the other, to get it in my mind about when I could and couldn't drop it, which now I think I've got.
And then you realised it wasn't Bocage.
That's right. Yeah. So a lot of charging forward by the Canadians, and it's punished quite a lot by the Germans here. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of broken. Here comes the Wasp.
Yes, save the day.
Yeah, that's right. And it is. I mean, it's ridiculously scary. I mean, it is.
Yeah. It's very difficult for the Germans to find an answer to it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, this is 24 flat coming in here.
Yeah. And do you know what? The squad in G1 has already first fired, so it doesn't have the ability to fire Panzerfaust anyway. Right. You could go.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's 2 hexes away, which is still 24, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you've got to worry about the guy in I1.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But it is. I mean, it's double small target as well. It's not. You've got the hedge. You've got double small. It's moved. It really isn't.
It's not vulnerable at all, isn't it? Well, apart from the open topness.
Right. But yeah, it does exactly what it says it's going to do. Now, luckily, so I revealed this guy here in I1 to force the J5 guys to rout. Because they're already broken. So if the minefield does their job, of course it does. So that's quite useful. So they've lost some squads already. We're into close combat here, and poor old Richard rolls a 6 for the ambush. So I
sometimes think when this game's not going well, the gods turn on you.
Absolutely. But we do have the 9-2s. He was very, very bold with the 9-2. He was like running up here on the first turn on his own, but manages to do a good job. And basically, at this point, this side is looking like it might collapse. So a little bit of prep firing. Obviously, things like Panzerfaust checks and stuff. Now, Richard was very good at one thing that the sign of a good, gracious opponent. I went to go for a Panzerfaust and realised that I think I needed a 1 on a to hit roll. It was so small. 2 to jump out of the building, 1 for the hedge, 2 for the small target. Whatever it was. And I rolled a 4 on the Panzerfaust check, and then realised that the maths was terrible. And so I was like, okay, look, this guy's not going to fire anymore. And so he's like, well, who's the next person you want to fire the Panzerfaust with? That's the guy that gets the 4. And I was like, no, we can't have that. But the fact that he's the first person to suggest to do that, just as in, it's absolutely great to do that kind of stuff. And obviously, I didn't take it, but it was very.
So
nice.
Interestingly, is it okay to try for a Panzerfaust and then not to fire it?
That's a good question.
I don't know the answer without delving into the rulebook. That's probably not the moment for that.
I think we'll assume that if you're stepping out, there's nothing bad that can happen apart from a potential sniper on the to hit. So
pin, I suppose. Sniper and pin, yeah.
Well,
you pin on a. Oh no, you don't pin. No, because that's on the.
Yeah.
No, sorry. You're right. There's no negative effects apart from the sniper activation. Yeah.
But I don't think you get a sniper on a to hit roll for a Panzerfaust. I don't think.
Oh really?
Maybe. That's.
You normally do on to hit rolls.
That's true. That is true. True.
Okay.
So yeah.
Anyway, he's
jumped back.
Yeah.
So now my guy is broken in here, so we're moving the medium away just to avoid this constant. Now, there's one thing to note here is that it's actually it goes down again, doesn't it? If you're firing, or is it 12? If you go up a level, and I think we looked this up at the time, 3 hexes and up a level, is it still 12 or 6? I can't remember now. There's a different different rule about that, but we looked it up. So At this point, it's looking quite tricky for the Canadians. But
Yeah.
if you can get into this area here, which is potential with the 9-2, there's suddenly
Yeah.
potential here. The tank comes here, Panzerschreck.
Hit Panzerschreck.
Yeah, in here, and does the job. I removed my trench because I forgot to show it to him, so I just removed it. And that was there was a miss on the Panzerschreck, so it survived. We thought in fact, what actually happened there was Richard wrecked and burned his Panzerfaust before I rolled the dice to curse it, and of course. But then did this and went into bypass.
Yeah.
So those guys found a Panzerfaust and did the job.
Of course they did. Yeah.
But to be fair, I think this is a good thing. You come running in where you've kind of started to make
created a hole a little bit.
That's right.
A gap.
Did smoke. Now here's interesting. This is where Rich ran his 9-2 in bypass. I thought just jumping into E1, maybe jumping into F1 in close combat is a similar kind of odds. Maybe the odds are slightly in my favour for the ambush and then slightly in his favour for the close combat. And it would have DM'd the Brokies.
That's true.
But decided not to do it.
So why doesn't he DM the Brokies in bypass of E1? Doesn't that
because they're not in line of sight. They've got no line of sight on the
right.
On the
Got you. Yeah.
Is my understanding. It's my understanding.
Yeah.
So my tank tries to shoot at
the. So actually, G5 is a good spot for the.
That's right.
Flamethrower.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this was his plan, was to roll up. Oh, and here's what we did with the smoke. So this is Richard's good use of Chapter H. One smoke attempt puts 2 smoke counters in the 2 front covered arc hexes. Yeah. So here's where the gun has been revealed and has started to destroy this hex here, the mortar hex. There was there was a horrendous kind of stuff going on there. So Richard decides he's going to push into this hex, and the rule here, I think he thinks he's going to uncover all the units here as he bounces in, but that's not what happens. It's a random selection.
That's right.
But we get a pin before he even gets in. So now there's here's the random selection. So we uncover 1 squad, but now he has to take the residual in L5 again from the first fire squad, and that's okay. Then the next guy comes in, tries to jump into here, and we realise because it's overstacked now.
Yeah.
These guys have got extra movement points to spend, and pins on the because they haven't got enough movement points to go through the K1, so they pin in this hex, and that's obviously a problem now because we've got an overstacked hex in front of the infantry gun.
Yeah, it's at point blank range.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm bringing up. So here's where the infantry gun goes crazy. We get it's a 3 on the 12, 16, I think maybe something like that. So it's a K effect because obviously the -1 for the unit, and basically everything in here breaks. Yeah, and at that point, so does Richard's morale.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he lost pretty much everything. He'd got 1 squad back at the top there, but I mean, to be fair, the Wasp was still around. It hadn't been killed yet.
True.
So I think there was still a decent chance. The 9-2 leader still floating around, but I've basically lost next to nothing.
And where he has got forces, they're pretty spread out, aren't they? Not even all together. It's So, I mean, I suppose the 9-2 and the Wasp with a bit of infantry, and so it's a potentially quite a powerful combination. But it's difficult to imagine taking 4 buildings. Yeah,
that's right, and it's open ground, isn't it? This is the problem you've got of trying to get. Unless you just take the ones on the edges, it's mostly open ground to get through. So I was worried. I thought that if this area here in the infantry, if this big squat stack in L5 managed to jump in and win the close
Yeah.
combat, there's 3 buildings there that will almost certainly fall. There's
Yes.
only one good order squad left. These obviously dummies. And then this E1 is also fairly vulnerable. The 9-2 and there's only a Pier obviously there, but the Wasp outside it, and more squads coming in. So I mean, it was definitely, it's one of those moments where when your big stack breaks and everything dies and you've just lost, kind of 4 squads, and you just had enough. And I think that was at this point. So it was a good game.
Yeah.
And that was that. So that's me done. All right, Martin. So let's look at your game against Mike Grogan.
So obviously I did the traditional thing and forgot to start the log file right at the beginning. But if I can quickly run through what's happening. So I'm the Canadians. Mike is the defending Germans. I started relatively strong here on as we look at it, the left-hand side. But there's quite a strong force on the right-hand side. The 9-2 is on the right-hand side. Actually, does the 9-2 come on from off board? He does, doesn't he?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So he's come on from off board. Place the tanks really to sort of put some smoke up in H2, the kind of machine gun nest sort of position there. And obviously I've moved through the orchard on the left-hand side. The Wasp has managed to break the units in B1 and start a flame.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a broken half squad in A1 that was scouting, but I've also got a mortar at the back there in HD2, which smoked D1, and I suspected that was the tank. So the tank is either D1 or O2. So I thought, let's smoke it and see what happens.
All right.
So here we go. Okay. Oops. Page down, isn't it?
Yeah, push it. If you click it once, then you can just page down.
Yeah. Okay, so we're obviously in the route phase. So he's got a couple of guys routing. I've got a couple of guys around the that's advances, and that's brush. Pressing forward. What's that? So we're in rally. So this is his turn now. Right. So he's got a medium machine gun forward. Rolls a 6.
Oh, okay.
Straight away, adjacent to, I've got the Piat guys. It's a whole squad, so I'm very, very vulnerable there. Oh no, there's also the guys. Yeah, okay. So I was relieved, but I did feel that was a bit of bad luck on Mike's part. Tanks returning fires. He did a little bit of skulking, but not very much. I'm not that close to him in a lot of places.
You got a double 1 and then a dud. What was that? What was the double 1?
Okay, so.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, do you know? I think I'm just.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I think I'm just trying to gain acquisition. I don't think. Right. Mind you, double 1 should have hit, shouldn't it?
Well, I think it wasn't it a double 1, then a double 6 on the effects.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
It was the mortar. I think it was the mortar.
That's right, and then I've done another roll, and it's a 10, isn't it? Yeah. So it's kind of lost rate of fire. Yeah, okay. And so of course I return fire at the machine gun and break it.
Right.
So disaster really. Of course I attack back and do well after he's rolled a 6 with a key weapon.
Yeah, he breaks one of your guys. Is that sniper attack?
Yes.
Breaks him.
Yeah, which I thought was a bit cheeky.
Bit cheeky. You not to put a DM on him as well, but shouldn't. Complain.
Oh really?
Well, maybe not, but maybe it's going to appear.
Okay.
You get the blaze.
Yes, we get the blaze, and that's quite interesting because that does actually. Perhaps it hasn't. Okay, it does. It definitely does become a blaze at some point.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think we did it, and then we checked the rules. And we got overexcited. Okay, so it's a British turn now. So this must be the
second turn, is it?
Yeah, second turn. Okay, so we got. Oh no, at the moment I think we're doing We're doing concealment growth.
This
Yeah,
is like you played a whole new game, isn't it, Martin? Like you've never seen this before.
It was weeks ago. Right. Okay. So it's now my prep fire. Right. So tank taking a shot at the guys over there on the one side. Got some infantry prep fire, but only manages to get a pin. So I run that half squad around, run some of the infantry up the left-hand side, pressing forward my advantage. That luck that I had.
I like that what Mike's done there with the tanks, not giving you the chance to know necessarily which ones the tank is.
Yeah,
it's a hold
there's
back.
3 actually, isn't there? Yeah, I have discovered it's not the one in F5. There was a concealment counter there as well, actually.
Right.
But I don't know what it is at the moment. Although I'm sneaking up on it, and of course I go for.
When you say sneaking up, you're running head first into it. Okay.
In fact, it just drove through.
Just go straight through.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking about here, because he's literally in Panzerfaust sort of city.
Yes.
He's DM'd the leader, which is kind of good, I guess.
Panzerfaust,
then the illegal trenches appear.
Okay.
Didn't occur to me when we were playing. Didn't occur to either of us that was illegal.
Right.
Turning around for the rear shot on the tank. I think that's what the plan was.
Okay.
He's missed me with the Panzerfausts. Okay. So that's quite good. More infantry moving forward.
Okay.
And that's his final fire phase. And that's final fire over. It's advancing fire. Of course, I get the tank. Every time it was down to dice, it went my way. It was uncanny. Advancing fire from the Wasp.
Yeah, that's ridiculously cheeky. They're running through his tank, parking next to his guys.
Yeah,
breaking everybody.
I think it's only a half squad, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
So it does make you. Oh no, it's a full squad. Yeah.
I mean, there's one in F1 as well that can have had a shot.
But it's 8 to hit, isn't it? It's +2 to move, +2 for size. So it's If
you're talking about your Wasp. I was talking about the tank rather than the Wasp.
Oh right, yeah, the tank. No, definitely, the tank was cheeky. Yeah, it's even that small though, isn't it?
It's large.
It's big, right? No, yeah, okay. It was ridiculous, stupid thing to do, but it worked, didn't it?
It did. you can't fault it.
Only because the dice were on my side in this game.
True.
Okay, and look, advancing fire, everything's sort of breaking. I think that squad manages to survive in F1. Routes, and then we've got more routing going on down there. Not able to stop the guys in E5 at the bottom from coming back later on in the game. That's because I think it would have been game over if I'd been able to do that. Right, so this is his movement phase now, isn't it? This is turn 2 German movement. So he's basically skulking because he's seen what my dice can do, and you know that.
I do know that.
You know what my dice can do. I've turned my tank around. He's actually got someone in that trench.
Oh right,
squad.
Yeah.
So it's even more dodgy for that tank now. I don't manage to break them. In advancing fire, he manages to.
Yeah, you get what you deserve there. That's.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And that squad actually becomes a real pain for me. The one that's just moved into F2. Right, so it's now my turn 3. Where are we? It doesn't help me. You don't put prep fire counters on things, does it? So it looks like I've gone straight to the movement phase. Okay, so pressing forward on both sides of the board now, but of course the 9-2 is over there, but he walks into mines.
Yeah.
Everything breaks, I think, including the 9-2.
Oh, was that a full 12-point minefield?
No, it was 6. Why'd you say that?
Because he rolled a IFT. There was a 6 on a 6. Right. Got it.
So that's a 1 check, isn't it? Yeah, so it breaks the 9-2, but doesn't break the squad, surprisingly, but the 9-2's out of action for a little while. Okay, so I keep pressing forward, trying to get close to those. God, the DM guys came back, didn't they? So they got a squad in E5 now. Break the guys in the trenches. Start moving the tanks forward, because I haven't learned from the other one.
these guys now at E5 have started to come back, haven't they?
Yeah, they're all back pretty much, I think. Yeah, and that's a real problem for me. It helps I've got the flamethrower around, but the thing is now the trenches
Yep.
are are a bog check, aren't they, and
Yep.
stuff like that. So there is some risk involved. These guys like route back to H4. Some of my guys beginning to get into the G3 building, albeit it's only a half squad. But I'm getting shots from all sorts of different directions now. The thing is, the guys on the right are beginning to help the guys on the left break in. Only just beginning to, but
yeah,
I can never work out what phase we're in. Okay, so this is German final fire. Oh, no, this is the German turn now. Okay, sorry. So the Germans have sculpted in their turn of 3. I've got a couple of prep
wind
defensive fire shots. Yeah, we got the blaze in B1 now. Bit of smoke around. Okay, so this is my turn 4.
So you've got 2 buildings at the moment.
Yeah, so I've got 2
no,
buildings.
one building. You haven't got the middle one yet.
Yeah, but I've got E1.
Yep.
And I've got E4-5. So I've got 2 buildings. Oh no, there's a German in E5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 1 building. Yeah. Okay, but I've got quite a lot of force down. I mean, I was definitely concerned at this point, but I've got quite a bit of force moving in on the E5 building.
Yeah.
But I've got to capture really I've either got to capture the big building in the middle or 2 buildings on the right.
So you got the Wasp has gone into the trench.
Yeah, and that was a mistake because it was stupid. I didn't need to do that, and it's there's residual there as well.
Was it bog check as well?
I did a bog check, but I passed it. Right. But I wanted to turn to fire at the guys in F5.
Right.
Forgetting that I'd have to do the bog check as well when I turn.
Right.
So I decided not to.
Okay.
So it was all a bit of a mess, really. Don't manage to break the guys, so I'm struggling a little bit on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
But that tank comes into H1, starts firing from that direction.
You're into close combat, yeah.
Into close combat, you're concealed, managed to get the kill. So they're under a lot of pressure now, F5.
Right. Yep.
But it's not enough just to get a F5, is it? All right, that's the end of that log file. So if I just do file continuation.
Tools load continuation. They've changed.
Tools?
Yeah, tools.
Load continuation.
Yep.
Okay. That's not how I've ever done it before.
No, I think they've changed it. I think they've changed the.
Yeah.
There's a message that comes up now saying.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Yeah. So this is the German turn. He prep fires from F5. Of course, he's stuck now. I'm obviously hoping to sort him out in his turn.
Yeah. I mean, what else? I don't know what else you can do really.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything else he could have done. But he's struggling to sculpt a little bit now. You see, K2 ends up getting broken anyway. And again, I'm lucky. Get some breaks that I don't really deserve.
Right.
Okay. End of that log file.
It's interesting. Which one did he fire at on F? Because I'm just thinking, like, if you have to fire there, do you fire at E5 hoping to break them and try and recapture? Because firing at F3, which is more vulnerable, isn't going to do a lot. Or do you fire at the Wasp and try and get a? Yeah,
and I can't remember what he did now.
All right, there's
no
definitely
continuation.
Some choices.
Proceed anyway. Yeah. Excuse me. But the thing is, I've got the shots back. That's the thing, and I've got quite a few shots back, and of course that's the stacks or broken.
Yeah.
But he's still in a considerable amount of strength in the mid-central building.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm not there really at all. But I'm getting these sort of lucky breaks because I'm firing from different directions, I guess.
I feel like at this point the Germans should be deploying and spreading out to try and make.
Yeah, he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve though. This game is not over.
Right.
I think I was thinking quite a bit to do, but I should be okay.
Yep.
But
have
actually,
you found the hip unit yet?
The hip gun was was found right at the beginning, yes. So the hip gut unit is out of the way, but the hip gun is still out there somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is
that can definitely take 2 buildings back as well, couldn't it?
Yeah. So
this goes back to that whole problem of if you hip a gun in a corner of a building and don't mention it, and then they think they've taken the building, and they haven't, and whether you have that conversation about like.
I think I've checked that. I think I've been through the ground floor at least of these buildings. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is my turn, isn't it? No, we've not moved the counter on. I'm running into buildings there from different directions, and 9-2 is back now with a full.
And you're sleazing the 8-1, are you, with the medium? Down in F5 with the wasp.
What do you mean sleazing?
So you're putting him in.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, because I need to get across the road.
Right.
It's not enough to take a turn to sort out F5. I've got to get a move on.
Right. This is turn 4-5, is it, of the British?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it must be turn 5. But I've got the 9-2 now with 3 whole squads in L1 now, so I feel like that's quite a strong thing going forward. Getting into the building in a bit more strength, the central building.
Did you just reveal everybody in H4 and you bumped in?
Yeah.
So that's one.
Hang on, let's go back because I know that rule.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
No, okay. It might be that I searched.
Oh, right.
That's a possibility. I can't remember now. It may be that I searched. Anyway, guess the unit broken at the back there as well. So we're really hoping to sort this central building out. Okay, so break the guys in with the medium machine gun in F5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really kind of beginning to tidy up a little bit.
Yeah.
But important close combat in H4.
Now, this close combat, did you remember to add the modifiers for the vehicle in the ambush roll?
Yes, I would have thought so.
Okay.
But it's only one leader in there now.
Yeah, sure. I'm just wondering, because he might have a chance to withdraw. That's the.
Yeah, I think I would have thought that we did.
Yeah.
But I can't promise that we did.
Because you potentially got a +1 for pinned, you got +2 for vehicle, and he probably doesn't have the -1 for.
Yeah.
That, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, he's rolled a 5.
Yeah.
That looks like, and I've rolled a 1. There we go. Yeah. So he doesn't get the.
This is the H4. I think this is the H4 one. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Right, this is the H4 one.
Yeah,
okay.
I think you've just killed the leader in F5.
Okay. Okay. It's a good job you know what's going on. So it's his rally phase. I don't think he does any prep fire. Has he still got... Oh, no, I've found the medium machine gun down there, haven't I?
Yeah.
Right, gun appears. So it's firing a whole stack.
Double 6.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? And it's nicely placed. It's going to... I think, right, if he breaks this lot, I'm in trouble, I'm going to struggle to win this. So I only got the 3, hoping to get the 3 on the right-hand side. I think it's nicely placed. That must be a Panzerfaust. Losing the Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
And he breaks the guy in I3 as well. Starts to get me a little bit worried.
Right.
I don't think I do much damage. I managed to break a squad in K3.
The thing is, he's got to defend the M3 building, hasn't he? That's the...
Yeah. Yeah, but it's his turn. He can advance into that. Yeah. So, see if we catch his advances. Yeah, there he's advanced into M3. Yeah. Oh, this is my turn now, is it? Okay, so I'm in control of 1, 2, 3 buildings at the moment.
Yep.
I've got to capture. I've got to either capture 1 more, basically.
Yep.
So we don't get any prep fire, I don't think. Movement. Find the other mine. It's only the tank that goes through it and isn't harmed. I think I'm trying to limit his like subsequent fire here with the tank.
Right.
Oh, actually, probably stopping M3 from firing as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about there. And I lose the tank,
Yep.
but now of course he's in smoke. They're able to move forward.
I don't think that smoke's there yet, but
All right.
I think it's only there isn't it, when they're all moving, the smoke's not there until...
I thought it was automatically now.
I think
anyway.
if it's caused by prep fire, it will be, but not during the movement phase.
Okay. All right. Well, that might have been a bad playing of the rules. I can't remember exactly what was going on. But obviously what I'm trying to do is get that guy to N3 and upstairs so that when they break, they're not able to do that. So they're above them. Okay, so that's M3 building hopefully sorted out from my perspective. Then we got the flamethrower tank. The Wasp comes round, manages to break those.
Right.
So that's improving the chances of capturing that building.
Yes.
These guys moving in for these key close combats. Now there isn't a staircase in I4, so you can't route up. And then there's a bit of defensive fire. And then it's really all about advancing fire and close combat. Okay, so I've got to win one of these close combats. I've got to kill them, haven't I?
And this is the last turn.
This is the last turn.
Oh, right.
So it's very, very close. It can definitely go either way. I think we discussed like who's most likely to win here, and I only need to win one of them, and they both favour me.
Right.
So chances are in my favour now, but by no means certain.
So
I think I've won the first close combat. And,
right, that was the.
Yeah.
So this was it.
Yeah.
Good job.
But it was extremely close. Extremely close.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, that was nice. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. So this time we've got Jim Bishop is the Canadian attackers. Ryan Dukeman is the German defenders. Yeah. Let's have a look. They've obviously started a little bit late as well, but
that's right. They're in turn one. Yeah. They're Canadian turn one. I think this is another one where there was a little bit of a mismatch. Jim Bishop is, of course, a well-known ASLer of many years' experience, and Ryan's very, very new to the hobby. We both played Ryan, lovely guy. So I think he was very conscious that there was a little bit of a mismatch, perhaps, in experience here.
Yep. And this is how you get better, isn't it? This is how you
exactly right. Yeah. So Canadians look like they made a little bit of an advance there on the left-hand side. It looks like the reinforcements are in. The Germans looking strong in the centre and on the right, I guess.
The Germans have a lot of people up front. Is that allowed in that setup?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So Germans have to set up east of the HA3 H03 road. Yeah, they're fine.
Oh right. I thought we can only have one unit up there. No, okay, that's very far forward. Very far forward.
East of the HA3. In your game though, didn't Richard set up the Canadians in those hexes?
Kind of close to it. I think just on the road. I think he was on the road.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Cool.
All right.
Right. So off they go. So it looks like they're in the route phase. A few prisoners taken already.
Yeah. So I mean, my initial thought is that the Germans are set up too far forward. I think that's regardless if they're legal. Yeah. I think given that the Canadians can start effectively on board.
Yeah.
With a lot of these guys.
But Jim's not chosen to attack them as vulnerable, has he? He's very much, coming on in strength on the opposite side.
Just ignoring it and going around them, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's it. He's sensing a weakness perhaps on the other side.
Yeah, I would have been tempted to just prep fire my first turn at everything I could see.
Me too. Yeah.
Maybe that's not the right approach.
But see whether it finishes up working for Jim.
Yeah.
Where's the flamethrower?
It's coming on, I suppose. Is it? Or is it already on?
It should already be on because
it's here. It's here. It's in E3.
Okay. E3. Right. Yeah, I can see it now. Okay. Okay, so what are these
All
rolls?
right. So we've got, I guess, so we've got German turn. I guess we've got some casualties already.
Mm. Okay, so we've got Germans
All right,
movement
yeah,
now, and
Germans.
these repositioning
Yeah,
out of those forward positions. Yeah, couple of crafty lines of sight shots. It looks like
yeah.
catching out
Where did
Ryan a
that
little
shot
bit.
come from?
I think from F2 level 1.
Oh, right, up there. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's something I don't
and
ever
this.
do. Is go upstairs when I'm attacking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice.
I yeah. I think I did actually in this game, but only to stop concealment being gained or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
so yeah, Germans pulling back really. Canadians well into one
Yeah,
building, and also now it's turn 2 moving into the second
yeah,
building.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, moving forward in a lot of strength down there. Be interesting to see what the flamethrower does when that moves. Oh, taking some chances and gets away with it. Moves into E3, obviously trying to draw fire, whatever, but actually passes the morale
Oh, it's
checks.
interesting. Put the trail brake with the tank through the minefield.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Although, yeah, absolutely clever. Now the infantry can run through that if the tank makes it, can't they?
I think they have to go
Good
slow,
shot.
don't they? They have to. I think they have
I
to go
don't think so.
slow.
No, I don't believe so. I think they just go through it. The only thing is the infantry have to stay on the path.
Right,
Don't they?
right.
So yeah. So I think they might be more vulnerable.
Okay,
We'd have to look that up. Right. So he's malfunctioned the main armament,
okay.
and it had no effect on the J5 guys. So he's lost that early on in the game.
Yes.
Got a couple of shots off, perhaps. Yeah, Germans breaking in E4. He's moved forward into H4, hasn't he? The Germans.
He's got
they're
no.
British.
He's
They're
got.
British.
Yeah, he's got.
They're British. Okay.
So yeah, the Canadians are absolutely swarmed, haven't they? On the. It's like a
yeah.
human wave going on there.
They look unstoppable there, don't they?
Yeah.
But they've still got to get through the middle building and capture another one. They're not. With my game, there was troops trying to capture buildings on the other side as well.
Right, right.
So it's still a bit to
and
do.
you've got 3 buildings on that side, so yeah, you've got to get one of them.
Yeah. Tank coming and sticking its nose out there. He looks quite strong on the right-hand side, though. I think if I was Ryan at this point, I would be thinking about a fortress right-hand side.
Yeah, yeah.
And getting everything back there and see if I could.
Yeah, yeah.
What I could do.
Yeah, it's.
It's British turn 3, Canadian turn 3. So I keep calling them British. Has he just lost the building? Is it?
Yeah, he's just got the.
Yeah.
He's got the 3.
Got the 3rd building now.
Yep.
Wow, Canadians getting some good shots from that tank. Oh my word. That must have hurt. Yeah.
Lord dear in there.
There is still a squad in there unpinned, but there's a disrupted leader. It's carnage.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only consolation is that it's not a victory building. But
that's true. But it's the thing that hurts, I think, is it's the German turn, isn't it? So the Canadians have got their turn to capitalise on it.
Yes.
So I mean, really, there's a tank in J2. There's a squad in K4. They're broken in L3. Yeah. So then, really, you've got the guys in the L1-2 building. That's the backbone of the defence now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is the. Oh, right, we've come to the end of that log file. We've got another one, so continuation. Jim and Ryan.
And we haven't seen the gun yet, have we?
No.
Infantry gun.
Okay. You don't need to. No, you don't need to sync, do you?
No,
okay,
no.
because it's a continuation. Okay, so 3 buildings now in control, but Jim's got a bit of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
The pier
Smoked
next to the tank.
K2, pier next to the tank, yeah.
What you want, isn't it?
And he's moving in from like 2 sides to a weakening force. Mind you, you've got some broken units in I1. Canadians are certainly not getting everything going their way. Guns in K4.
Right. Yeah, that's nice.
That is a nice position, yeah.
Yeah. Especially for how the game's worked out, like to defend that road. So it looks like he's got to. It looks like the Germans are going to have to try and stop the British coming in from J1 and across that way. That looks like the way in.
Yeah, and you've got the guys in L1, haven't you, which are British. So in fact, the L1-2 building has just fallen.
Right. Yeah, they've come up here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the Germans have a chance if they just had to hang on to the K3 building, but they're.
Yeah. So now, he's got to take one back.
Yeah. But I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure jumping into K2 is the answer. I think he's got to get into L2.
Yeah.
And, especially it's a CX. I suppose he can do it. I suppose he can do it. He's got the.
I quite like the way he's managed to fall back into, like a sort of a collapsing bubble. The force is in one place kind of thing. And if he can rally everything, he's in a position to fight.
Do you think Jim voluntarily broke that guy there? Was that in the
possibly
victory commission to stop them advancing into close combat?
I mean, he's concealed now in L2. That's the building's potentially flipping back, isn't it? Well, no, because he's still in the building, so he hasn't lost control of it.
In. I think,
Yeah. Do you know what he probably has done?
Yeah.
Because if he'd have advanced in and killed him in close combat, the building control would have flipped, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's very good play, isn't it?
Yes.
See, I'm not even close to clever enough to think of that. Mines in K1.
Nice. Yeah.
Right, British moving in all, Canadians moving in all directions now. Yeah.
Good use of the counter, like the VBM counter there.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so advancing fires breaking all the key German units.
Right.
Yeah. So he's routing back into the back building. All right, that's it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. They're having a chat at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, well played, Jim.
And well played, Ryan, as well.
Giving
it a good go.
No shame in losing to Jim. He's
absolutely.
Right. Okay, so this one is Dave Moresk as the Canadians and Tuomo Likari as the German defending.
Also seems to have started. Still in Allied turn. Yeah. That's the way to do it. You always have to forget for the first part. So it looks like advances.
Yeah.
Is this not Canadian advances? Still in the movement phase. We've got
Berserk. We've got a Berserk squad already up in.
Yeah.
Top right here.
Discovered mines already. You've got a close combat already in M1. Canadians still coming on. 9-2 in F1. Looks like he's going to create some sort of a fire group in the upstairs of F2.
Yeah, which should be. We've got an M1 level 2 counter. Do we think that should be a level? Should that just be level?
That's probably level 1. Probably meant to be level 1.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a big square. How many levels does that building have?
I think isn't it just one additional one? But I always get that wrong. So
yeah, I always have to check those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it was a few shots, but the Canadians are getting a long way forward there with the CX squad in O2.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pushing forward fast.
I mean, it's only an 8-0 leader. I don't know if he's just scouting out, looking for.
Yeah. There's that potential tank, I suppose, in 04. So it looks like they've done the same thing with the two large concealment counters representing the tank.
Yeah, yeah. Which makes sense, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It's got advancing fire shots at the moment. I think that's okay. So that's routes, isn't it? Was he going there to save a route? He's got a half squad routing forward to O2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's why the leader ran there, I guess. Right. So we've got the trenches. Now this is this is an interesting place for the trenches, isn't it?
And some might say legal as well.
Well, that's kind of what was going through my head. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, trenches there
Some
for
people
the
are
Panzer
picky
Shrek.
about things like that, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, so right, these are close combats.
260s on the ambush roll.
Yeah, never looks well. They cancel each other out, don't they? At least. Okay, so got a couple of melees. I wonder if they declared any hand to hand.
Yeah, this one is yeah. Because obviously this is
Yeah,
the rule,
one
isn't
is-
it? For deluxe, you can declare
You can
hand to
declare hand
hand.
to hand. Yeah, one is, one isn't. Yeah. Okay, so with Axe's turn. Prep fires. So is that the gun?
To kill. So
Is that the gun in 04? Yeah, but it's malfunctioned. Fired that gun.
no, wasn't that to kill? That was a to kill attempt. Was it's a dud rather than a malfunction. I don't quite know why.
Oh yeah. To kill.
Oh, he's done it to kill and then no. I think he's just hit the to kill rather than the IFT as the effect. I think that's what it is.
Right, it's just hit the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, but I think that 6 though is still then should be just shouldn't be. Oh, well, maybe that's the to hit roll. I don't know.
Yeah. He's got a couple of shots. He tried for heat. He didn't get heat. Then tried another shot. I reckon he's
hit, and then he's.
I think he's just hit the wrong dice. Yeah.
Yeah, but so he's done the to hit again. So he's second. So his first one was the to hit double 2. Then he's got a double 6 and a 2.
No, those are rallies. That's in the rally phase.
I'm looking below that, just below that. So
yeah.
The 2-2 for the to hit, then a 6-2 for the to kill.
Yeah.
Another double 2. But anyway, okay. I hope he didn't break his gun on the IFT.
It looks like he has. Broken it though. Yeah. Well, no. I think I anyway. Yeah.
Too late to change it now.
Yeah. So you got that 9-2 taking shots right the way across the board. All of his best leaders are in F2, which is interesting, isn't it?
It's incredible kill stack there.
It's I guess it's doing a good job of clearing them off the high up positions. So this is their final fire, isn't it? Okay. So we got broken units in the hand-to-hand melee. Yeah, Germans broke, but not the Canadians.
Right. Oh, that's the Temoral Berserk. We'll do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Berserks.
Did that complete the melee? Right, the Germans have reinforced the melee in L5. Okay, Canadians prep firing. They've got to give Canada its own colour because I just constantly call them British.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the Germans broke in L5 as well. How did that happen? Interesting. Must be advancing fire or prep fire.
Yeah, perhaps from M1.
Yeah. Daring, isn't it? Taking, I mean, they're not, the others were berserk, but these guys, I suppose they're 8 morale.
Well, I think it was the half squad against the 2 squads, wasn't it? I think that was the.
Yeah. So he's going to lose them anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's just feels. Yeah, the Canadians are flying through, aren't they?
Yeah, that Wasp's doing the job as well.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So the gun
Mm.
was not hipped. The gun was. I think the gun was
Trying
just
to look like
concealed.
a.
It was trying to, and that doesn't seem to work because you've got the crew to hip. So you have to hip the crew
Mm.
and put. I mean, I suppose that's quite sneaky. Is it? You hip the crew.
Are you? I don't know if you're allowed to do that though. Surely the crew are only hip if the gun is hip. I would have thought.
But you can hip a crew because the SSR gives you one squad equivalent hip.
Absolutely, yeah, you could, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Very interesting. Very sneaky. Is that going forward? No. Okay, I need to click that again. Okay. This is Axis turn 2.
I'm not sure I like the gun so far over there though.
Yeah.
It looks like. I mean, I suppose it could be there. I suppose what's clever about it is if your opponent assumes it's the concealed tank,
Mm.
on your last turn you can jump in and perhaps reclaim that building, which you may have left undefended. The M3
Yeah.
M3 building,
Mm.
and because the Germans have the last turn. Oh, no,
It's
they don't. They don't
powerful
have the
weapon.
last turn.
No.
No.
The Canadians have the last turn. Yeah. It's a powerful weapon, though, isn't it, to be using just for a sleazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's particularly good against the infantry.
Yeah. As I found out, and I think as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. And I nearly found out, but
Yeah.
Luckily, Mike couldn't roll below a 12.
Yeah.
It was a very good game, though. It was a very enjoyable game. I hope he agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks Canadians making a lot of progress here. It's looking. Mind you, how many buildings they actually control? It's only 3, isn't it? 2, only 2.
Yeah.
So it's still, I suppose, it's relatively early in the game.
Turn 3.
Allied turn. Taking a few prep fire shots.
So the gun's broken, and we've got the crew in close combat now.
Yeah.
But that's actually, it's not terrible there for the Germans. They've got a CX prisoner squad. But
yeah,
to take on in that building.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bit of a standoff with the tank and the Wasp. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so they've won the Canadians won the close combat in N3, so they're looking very strong on this side now, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like they can get the 4. The L building there is obviously completely undefended.
Yeah. He's sending more guys over that way. Another close combat coming up, I think. Are they in close combat?
I think the Germans have just run away, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Do you like playing on deluxe boards, Martin?
I do quite enjoy it, yeah. It's just, I don't think there's any particular reason I enjoy it except that it's different to not playing on deluxe boards.
I think it's really hard to get...
I like on Vassal how you can put, you've got 3 squads, there's room for all of them.
Yeah.
To set a line side by side. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I was just going to say, I think the only challenge with it is because we're so used to like a very large space on a table, we think that the distances are a lot further, and therefore the scale kind of affects the pace of the game a bit.
Yeah. I think it's odd that you have different rules for it.
Yeah.
I think that's an oddity because it seems to me that you can always say hand-to-hands, you can always SSR it.
Yeah.
So I suppose if you're designing for deluxe and you don't want hand-to-hand, you have to SSR to not have it. It seems unnecessary. But anyways, flamethrower's gone up in flames. But the Canadians are really assaulting that middle building as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks difficult for the Germans now. Yeah, a melee in L4. I suppose Germans still control a couple of buildings.
Tank goes into the building, bogs.
Mm.
Presumably doesn't fall into cellars, taking the
No.
building down with it.
Hmm. I think who won the close combat?
So the Canadians have completely won now the
Yeah.
M3,
One,
M3 building.
2, 3. Yeah, so they've got 4 buildings at the moment. Yeah, so the Germans have. Oh,
Well, I'm
they?
not sure they've got the DE building.
They got the bogged vehicle, haven't they, in K4s, preventing the Canadians controlling it, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. All sorts going on. Okay, so the tanks fallen.
Okay.
So now the
that's
Canadians are in control of 4 buildings, and I think that's the end of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Canadian win.
So well done, Dave. Okay, so this time we've got Simon Staniforth against Paul Legg, 2 great British gentlemen in ASL play-in terms and in real life. These nice guys. You don't have a bad word to say about either of them, do you?
No.
And
no,
if you did, you
absolutely
wouldn't.
not, no. I played both of them a couple of times, I think, and always had good games, and always friendly and having chats at tournaments and things like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it with Paul. He's one of the players that's done. Is he the most tournaments or the second most tournament games?
That
I think.
wouldn't surprise me. I didn't know that, but that wouldn't surprise me because ever since I've been playing ASL, I don't think I've ever been to a tournament that he wasn't at. So, yeah.
He's not the loudest guy in the room, is he? He's such an understated. He's there. Yeah, very. I can't imagine that guy causes many arguments in life. He's such a pleasant guy. I mean, and that's not to say that Simon Staniforth does either. He's also great, but
it's also a relatively quiet person.
That's true. In fact, most ASL players are relatively quiet and don't cause arguments. So
I get that. There's nothing remarkable about Simon or Paul.
that's the nastiest thing anyone's ever said about them. Right. Okay. Let's see. So we've got Simon attacking as the Canadians. Very, very, very nicely laid out Canadians in the top there.
It's a very ordered person, Simon. Very, very sort of logical, careful thinker. Anyway, so it looks fairly standard sort of German setup. A little bit more advanced than some, I guess. Not as far ahead as Richard, but let's see.
And we've got the similar kind of placement of the potential tank in 04 and K4 potentially as spots for where they meant. And you also got C1 as well, so you've got three potential areas there for the tank.
Yeah. So let's see how Simon deals with trying.
Yeah, I was just looking at. They've used a lot of concealment counters here. So yeah, it's. I don't know whether. But anyway,
well, don't forget that where you've got 2 counters, like in D3, for example, you've got 2 German units. They're covered though by 1 concealment counter, but for practical purposes, you might need to put 2 there. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got too many.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't look like there's a little bit of prep fire from the Canadian side, and then we got the movement. It is interesting having a little bit of a more forward setup like this because it does kind of take a turn away from the Canadians.
Yep.
They've got to go and deal with the 1 squad. Mind you, he's broken it straight away.
Yeah.
And then we got it looked like a KIA there. Oh, of course, we can't see the dice. They were rolling dice themselves, real physical dice, yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Owen. Hello. You're being broadcast live around the world? No, you're not. Have a look, there's plenty to eat.
All right,
yeah. Right, tanks coming on?
Yep.
Canadians moving in. It's actually quite an understated turn in a way, isn't it? There's not not a lot happening really. We've got a fire lane. I think that's one of the very few fire lanes we've seen looking at these games. I guess we got some defence. Advancing fire. So there wasn't much defence. Well, there may have been.
Yeah, Paul chose to use one to hit dice roll. Maybe he pushed it.
That's interesting. Yeah. Accidentally, perhaps.
Yeah.
Canadians less advances, isn't it? Pressing forward. So this must be the Axis turn now. So we've got some prep fire. So the thing is, when you're trapped into trenches like that, isn't it? You kind of, but it gets a break against the guys in F4. Pinned on the shot back. Defensive fire back. Oh, wow. German squad just literally melted away in M1. It must have been a good shot. Tanks dominating upstairs in that big building. And it is routes, advances, British turn 2, or Canadian turn 2. It's quite difficult without the dice rolls, isn't it? Yeah. Lots of prep fire going on, but lots of broken Germans. Now we've got the Canadians moving forward. I've got to say, lots of good use of fire lanes. It was interesting that Simon also used upstairs of F2 for the 9-2 leader.
Right.
Second person to do that.
Yeah.
Right, here comes the Wasp. I mean, what's that? Okay. Right, yes, he breaks that.
Yeah, Wasps doing waspy things.
Yeah, doing what Wasps do. He's breaking into that building now, isn't he, in the L1? 9-2 leader approaching E1, ready for the close combat, presumably. Right, so that's the end of that log file, but we've got the continuation.
Who's your money on right now?
It's in a way it's quite early on, isn't it? But I think Simon seems to be breaking in, quite strongly into that right-hand side.
Yep.
And that's where most of the buildings are, isn't it?
Yeah.
No continuation, proceed anyway. There we go. Okay. So this is Axis turn 2 now. See, I think the Axis look a bit kind of trapped.
They've definitely been pushed back, haven't they?
Yeah, and they haven't got sort of anywhere to manoeuvre and not so much space to manoeuvre. A lot of defensive fire back from the Canadians. Doesn't seem to be particularly effective. Allied, no, not yet. Allied turn 3. Again, we've got some smoke in the building in the centre.
It's interesting to see how conservative Simon is with these tanks, other than his Wasp, but they're really just at the back, aren't they? Just kind of fire support.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose the thing is, you've got some good lines of sight from up in the top of that building, and every hex practically is shrouded in smoke now. I mean, that Wasp has gone right forward.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And now the infantry following it. It's certainly paying off, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a trail of broken guys around that Wasp.
Yeah.
Another good use of the counters, like it.
Yeah. Still Allied turn 3. So now we've got advancing fire. Okay, more guys breaking. Well, all being encircled.
It does look like the Canadians have done enough, doesn't it, at this point?
It does really, yeah. I guess the thing is, at the moment, they're only in control of 2 buildings, though, isn't it? That's the.
Yeah, I mean K3, K4 looks like it will fall fairly
It
quickly,
does look like it, but it needs. They need one more, don't they?
and then they've got the 9-2 up.
They got the 9-2 against a single squad,
yeah.
haven't they? Yeah, I definitely agree.
Mm.
Oh, is that the gun in F5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the gun over in L2, K3 kind of area.
Yeah.
It feels like it has more of an impact there.
It's been very well. I think whenever we've seen it over there, it's not been effective because they've rolled double sixes, but it has been effective. It is an effective place for it, definitely. When I saw it pop up, I thought I had this game in the bag.
Right.
But then he rolled double six, so it was all right. That's basically that is my tactic. Is to my opponent to roll very high dice.
And we should say that your thread that talked about precision dice has sparked like a massive forum thread on Game Squad.
Yeah. I couldn't be bothered to read it. I got some good bits of advice on how to sort my own dice out, and that's it. All I'm interested in. Look, I've got concealed Canadians moving in. That flamethrower is being
it's a literal wasp, isn't it? In terms of it's just buzzing around, it's annoying people, it's hurting stuff when it's seeing them.
It's fast, isn't it? It's hard to hit. It's
Some might say waspish is the
word.
I
think there's a Panzer Schreck turned out. That might have been the hips, like one of the hip units.
Yep.
Which is quite good because that's got the potential to retake that building. But I think that's the end.
Yeah, it looks like the British have got that building completely up in the top as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the Canadians, sorry. So yeah, okay, all right. So we've got another win for the Canadians. That's 4 wins for the Canadians. All right. So next up, do we have Doug, Leslie, and Tom Rapetti?
We do. Yeah.
All right. So we've got Tom Rapetti against Doug Leslie.
Doug Leslie defending as the Germans.
That's right. And we have to point out the amazing tables on the...
Beautiful. Look at anti-tank magnetic mines. Easy to forget. It's all there.
So we know that the Canadian player didn't set this up because there's no Canadian player is going to give their opponent hints about this kind of stuff.
I think it's useful, the vehicle thing, the German and Canadian vehicle things. You can see what's on the back. Obviously not all the notes, but you can see what's on the back. It does actually, it's very good. Very good.
Nicely done.
So this should be a good game, I think.
Yes, 2 good players.
Yeah, okay.
We're through, go for it.
Okay, right, so a little bit of smoke.
And a similar setup, isn't it? A similar setup, kind of, rear.
Yeah, I think so. Vehicles, perhaps. Well, you've got a lot of Canadians coming on M1. That's perhaps not what we've seen.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. But, very, very quite similar setup to most other players. We've got a tank going forward. We've got riders. I think that's the first time we've seen riders.
Yep.
They can go over hedges. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine,
Yeah.
Yeah, Orchards is the
dodgy one. A lot of pinned Canadians. That's from that medium machine gun, I think, in H2.
Yep.
Is that a medium?
Medium, yeah.
It is, yeah. Okay. Tanks taking up position. We've got the trenches there.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because it does force a bog check. It's not an inconsequential use for the trenches. Tanks seem to make quite a bit of progress, though. Here comes the flamethrower.
Yeah. Wow.
Changed its mind on that one.
Yeah. Pinned the leader, broke the squad. Now, do you think that was...
That was the flamethrower.
Yeah, flamethrower there.
Yeah. A vicious weapon, isn't it? You think about it. Yeah, good little bit of routing, and Canadians advancing. Not advancing that much because of the pins.
Yeah, Tom loves to name his tanks.
What's he called them?
Larry, Mo,
Perfect.
Curly.
So we got all the prep fire from upstairs. No skulking from the Germans in the H building. Oh, that's interesting.
Germans on
Going
the attack. Okay.
tank hunting, yeah. Well, it's significant.
Wow,
effort
look at
to,
this. This is this is aggressive, isn't it?
That is really aggressive.
Wow.
This is the first time we've seen anything as aggressive as that from the German player.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
The thing about that is it really secures that flank if he does manage to knock that tank out.
Yeah, because he's in a lot of strength in the E building, isn't he? Yeah.
Advancing fire with the Panzerschreck doesn't do it.
Yeah. I guess the cost is that he's not strong on the other side.
Oh, okay, yeah, they've got the tank.
Yeah, and they just hurry back, yeah.
I mean, technically now, I suppose these guys, in for a penny, in for a pound, might go and try and take F2, you know?
I don't think it counts.
No, but just in terms of just
yeah.
like, you know, what are you going to do with that squad otherwise? I mean, I suppose you're protecting the road.
And you can bring it back, can't you?
Yeah.
So we're now on turn, I can't see because of all the dice rolls. Is it Allied turn 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, advance. Yeah, we're advancing. I think we're advancing, yeah. Like,
okay.
seems to be doing okay on there. Flamethrower going around.
Here comes the flamethrower to sort out this problem. Runs away again.
I think it was. Okay, yeah, it has. No, where's it gone?
What?
I think it's ice rolled 6 on the.
Oh yeah. Roll 6, yeah.
So it's been recalled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not good news.
No.
He got one shot, maybe.
Yeah, one shot. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Still, he's doing well. Tom's doing well on the right hand side. He's in the L3 building with a 9-2 leader.
And he's got the L2 building, he's got the M3 building and the L3.
Yeah, so he's got 3 buildings.
So now
he needs one more.
Oh, to be fair, he hasn't got the K3 building yet.
No, he hasn't yet. You're right. Yeah. Thing is that Germans are getting a chance to position to. Oh, that's.
Yeah, everyone's.
Okay, so that's the end of the session. Their first session, isn't it?
Oh, they're looking at some dice rolls here. So, Doug's averaging is dead on 7. Tom's is 7.46, but there are some 8s in there for the IFT, and as it hits, it's 7.8. Morale check. Doug's morale check's averaging 8.43 to hit 8.67. IFT 7.29. His close combat, which is the 1, was a 4. Oh. Okay, we got the second half of the log.
I'm just waiting for it to load up now. Or is that it? I think I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. So if you want, you don't need to.
No, yeah, you
Okay. All right. So, why is that not going forward?
It's good.
Yeah, it is now. Okay.
White phosphorus going in, causing some.
Yeah. Using all the tools. Sherman's coming around. It's really all about this H building then, isn't it? I mean, there's still fighting to be done in K3.
Yeah. Presumably that's the gun there in D3.
Yeah. But the Germans are encircled as well. Oops.
Yeah.
Half squad in the road looks vulnerable. Gosh, it just died, didn't it? Yeah, really. The Canadians just still having quite a bit to do actually in that KL building.
Yeah. Turn 3, is it now? It looks tough for Canadians here, doesn't it? They've got.
It does, yeah.
got to get
It's a
across that
very,
road.
very different way of playing that really we've got from the Germans.
Interesting. The squad have scrounged the light machine gun off the tank, I think.
Yeah, nice. But we got an assault of some sort going on here. Canadians getting into the H building for certain.
Still got that pinned.
Oh, broke. The Canadians broke in H4, including the 9. Well, the 9-2 leader did. The squad was pinned. Canadians starting to look a little bit thin on the ground, aren't they, for what they got to achieve?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Germans outnumber them now. I think, well,
it's a nice place for the German tank as well. But the Canadians coming up on it.
Is that the German tank mouthed on his first shot, didn't it?
Yeah. Typical. Is there a possibility for... Oh, look, it's just drawing everything in now, isn't it? This is... Yeah, Canadians... Oh... They look like some... bad dice rolls for the Canadians.
Yeah.
I think that's the end.
Yeah, looks like the... So, yeah, Germans win that one,
Yeah.
That was. Do you know what? And I think a lot of that had to do with that push up the left for their Germans to secure the flank, to be able to keep that left hand side.
Changed the nature of the scenario completely, didn't it?
Yeah. They abandoned the gun as well, didn't they? Just left it there and got the crew. The crew in. But, okay, nicely done. Good going there. All right. So this time we have Assad in his first appearance in the SL tournament. Steve Slunt. I don't think Steve made an off play either in these. So
I'm not sure.
Now the crazy thing we've got the board upside down.
Yeah.
It's all quite freaky, isn't it? Looking this way. You know, in chess, they often one of the opponents will walk around the other side of the board to look at how it looks from the other side. And it can be quite a tactic to do this. So apparently we're supposed to do it more in ASL as well. But anyway, okay, so similar kind of setups. Fairly safe. It's interesting that very few have done like a fallback defence as the Germans. It really is kind of defending depth. Okay.
I think there's a danger, isn't there, from the amount of firepower potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I think he's firing the mortar. I'm assuming that's a mortar taking a few shots there.
Right.
Yeah, it is. Right. Okay. So. And now we're moving forward.
Yeah. Yep. So there's the. There's only a light machine gun in the centre there with H2.
Yeah, Mike only put that up there.
So the K3 is the.
Yeah. So, what did it fire at? Oh, it must have been E4. Very sneaky shot there. Very sneaky shot. So he's got all the tanks coming on across the board. Canadians very wide attack here, I'd say.
Yeah, plenty of brokens on the right hand side though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, there's some searching going on there. Look, there's some searching there with the TIs.
Oh, discovering mines.
Yeah.
He's managed to get most of the brokers back to one place with a leader, albeit a broken leader, but quite nice.
Wounded 7-0 as well. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Right, some sort of a good hit there against the Germans in I3.
Yeah.
Okay. A flamethrower looking for a shot. So, okay, this German advances, yeah. So now it's Canadian turn again. But, we know where the mines are now. The worst thing is finding them and being stuck in them, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. We've got one. We've only got one, haven't we?
No, there's two. There's one in L4.
Oh, I see. L4. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. That's quite. I think J5 is a good position for it actually because it's difficult to approach that building any other way.
Yeah. we got double six on.
Mhm. Canadians making some a little bit of a run on the right. Here comes the right flamethrower. Didn't just move, didn't it? Let's take. I can see that hex. Yeah. Routes and advances.
We've got the melee in M1 to sort out.
Yeah. It's just yeah. Okay, looks like they're locked in melee. Yeah, so German turn. A few prep fire shots. Doesn't look like there's anything effective.
It's interesting because that melee is really quite in favour of the first round of going in the Germans' favour there, because the tank means that you get the worst for the ambush, and then you get the sequential. So what otherwise would be a equal close combat becomes, I would think,
benefits the defender.
Yeah, definitely.
But once that's over, it doesn't matter so much, does it?
Still got the first shot, haven't you, in close combat?
Yeah.
So you get a chance to kill them without getting shot back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, so we got some defensive fire from the Canadians now. Then we got
the right hand side is looking a bit risky for the Germans.
Yes.
So only really, I suppose, a little bit. Got a malfunction tank. Need C4.
Yeah. Right, so let's just work out where we are. So this must be near the end of the German turn.
Yep.
This must be German advances. Yeah. So now it's...
All right, so the British have...
Yeah, Canadian turn 3.
Yeah, British have done the job on the close combat.
Yeah. As usual, he took some prep fire shots, and the Germans just got a hero out of it.
Yeah, wounded hero.
Oh, lots of brokers suddenly. That looks like it's just almost like a great way to do it, isn't it? To break in prep fire, but then be able to advance in and to of course the broken Canadians are back in action.
Right, yeah, and then we've got is that the game over, or is it you got a log file?
It's not over yet.
Okay, so just doing the log. Whenever I see them do the dice stats.
Yeah, they're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Canadians really got one building in strength now, and looks like they're doing quite well on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah,
beginning to do a bit, quite well on that side.
Yeah, this is a tricky little one in the D3-4 building at the top right there, with a half squad isn't really going to take on the full squad.
Yeah, not quite got enough force over there, has he? But he's got all the guys in the building opposite, including a -1 leader. Maybe he can make that count. A load of Canadians just broke. It's like everybody's broken.
Yeah.
So that German tank is being very effective. I think, is it Assad of the Germans has got more out of that tank than any other game we've been watching.
Yeah.
You're always dead now, huh?
You spoke too soon, yeah.
But now those guys are adjacent. I suppose they benefit from the protection of the smoke, but they are adjacent to a lot of Germans.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how Assad plays that. Prep fired, yeah, with no effect.
It's never what you want to see, is it, with the 9-2 kind of staring down at you?
Not really, no. Very risky. It's a difficult decision. It'd be so nice to break that stack.
If you're going to advance, if it was your advance phase and you were the Canadians right now, they've just wiped out that stack. But there was But would you go? There's the guys that have gone into close combat there. So it's the the 447, the medium, and the 91. If you were the 92, 81, and a 458, would you go into the 91 and the medium, or would you go for the safer 447? I suppose because you don't quite.
I'd probably like safer.
Yeah, it seems to go the wrong direction. But yeah, it's interesting choice there if it had been the British or the Canadian turn. But anyway, yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So this is German advances.
Yeah.
All right, so they won the close combat. Germans won the close combat. Now, of course, it's a disadvantage to... Oh, the blaze is spreading as well into the building. It's awkward now because the 9-2 is shrouded in smoke. So It's no longer protection. It's now hindering them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're kind of getting low on time. Yeah, shot over there. Okay, pinned the squad in E4. Yeah. Tank trying to get involved here. Yeah, 2 tanks there, yeah. There's a lot of guys over there.
It's hard work, isn't it? It's hard work to know. I suppose the N3 building, you can perhaps... I mean, there's very little Canadians left on the left-hand side.
Yeah. What happened to the 9-2? Oh, he's broken and run back, hasn't he? Yeah. So taking those shots eventually worked.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the charge of the half squad to break everything, DM them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the counter attack
now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's chased them miles away. I mean, that's got to be.
Yeah.
Looking at, and the E4 building hasn't fallen. You know, you're looking at them trying to get the second building at the moment.
Yeah, it looks tough now for the Canadians, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they've broken that though, so they've got the. Oh, they haven't got it yet.
No, still got quite a bit to do just to get that building. Oh, they're in strength. It's locked in melee with a bloody half squad. It's annoying. Oh, tank's gone up. So it's both those 2 Shermans are destroyed now.
that little half squad's run all the way down to N2. So annoying.
You'd think they'd be going, no, let's stop and listen and see what he's got to say. He might be nice. Yeah. Oh, have they rallied or is this...
There's prisoners, I think.
Prisoners, yeah. I'm going to do this really quick because I don't think this is going to be...
Oh, the British have got into the centre building, or the Canadians.
And they've captured D3 as well.
Yeah, they've got D3, and they've got the F, so they only need one more.
Yeah.
If they take that centre building, which they probably won't.
Yeah, they only need one more if they get one more first.
Yes.
I mean, it's what turn are we on now? I need to move this a little bit. Turn 5. So they've got
one more turn,
and it's the German turn 5. So the Canadians only have one more turn. But
have they? Hang on, did they? Oh, okay. They lost the E4 building.
Yeah, and they've resigned at this point.
Yeah,
I think he's captured the H building though.
Very impressive. He's got the H building.
Yeah, I think so. I thought it was going to look really difficult for them, but yeah, they got that building. Was there a hip unit in the E4 building or something?
It could well have been. It could well have been.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that because it seemed. I mean, I was going quite quickly, but it looked like it just sort of popped up.
Yeah.
Gun. Actually, it's an interesting position for the gun. I don't mind that position actually.
Yeah.
Protecting. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. All right. So, a win for Assad and the Germans.
A win for Assad and the Germans.
Nice. Okay. All right. And now let's look at the last one. All right. So we have Tim Reed, the reigning Illuminating Rounds champion, up against Richard Webb. Another nice British guy.
He was the play by email champion. I don't think.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, because Tom Rapetti won this tournament last year.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah.
Okay, so the reigning play by mail champion.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So looking at the setup, what do we think here?
Well, it's a little bit more forward than most of what we've
Yeah.
seen. I mean, you've got the trench, haven't you, and all the way forward in E1, it's E5, isn't it?
Yeah.
And L4 with a machine gun as well. So a little bit more forward. Position for B4. What do you think's in B4?
What do I think's in B4?
Is that either a tank or trying to look like a tank, I suppose?
I think it is the tank, isn't it?
Well,
Oh,
there's
so
also
sorry, it's going to be K5 as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
I don't know. Yeah. Right. Anyway, well, we shall find out, won't we? Okay, so a couple of prep fire shots for smoke and stuff, and he's got guys in F1 forming a fire group, although they don't think they've had any effect. And we've got the tanks coming forward. Now I quite like this, the riders, half squad riders as well. So you know, really, really good for pushing forward and scouting. Canadian squad broke. Tanks going forward. Here's the flamethrower. It was worth watching that. Was the machine gunner upstairs firing at the flamethrower tank? I think it might have been. But anyway, he's broken the guys in L4, hasn't he, with the flamethrower?
It's broken the H2 machine gun nest has been broken.
Ah. Did we catch how that happened? It must have been one of the Shermans.
Yeah, potentially the mortar, but maybe. But
there is an area thing in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, he's got another squad moving in there, so he's ready for that. And this is the Canadian advances, isn't it? So now we got. Oh no. Yeah, no, it's German turn. Yep. Okay, so a little bit of repositioning. Final fire broke a German squad. So something quite effective fire from the Canadians. So now this is the Canadian turn 2. Using smoke.
Yep. So far, I think Richard Dagnall's the only person that I've seen utilise the smoke dispenser, the smoke with the double smoke from the Wasp.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
So kudos to Richard for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd missed it completely that it could do that. And I thought I'd read the notes, but obviously not very carefully. So this is now, Canadians still pushing forward. But they're going to get some defensive fire back, aren't they, I think? Yeah. Oh, no, this is now German prep fire. That was a tank in the woods.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming round on the counter-attack here.
Wow, that's Oh, so he's got the mouthed gun there, and he's got the Wasp in his sights and the mouthed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice move. It's a nice move.
Very nice move.
Now, what do you shoot at? I was going to say, what would you shoot at here? Would you shoot at the Wasp, or would you shoot at the Sherman? Because if that Sherman recovers its weapon, you're in all sorts of trouble there. If you can get the Wasp.
But taking the Wasp out is going to help a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see what happens.
I think grain is not in effect, is it, in this one, I think?
That's right, there's no grain.
Yeah.
Might even be ploughed fields. Yeah. Okay, this is turn 3 now.
Oh, here comes this is the problem, isn't it? You've got the
Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
And here comes another one. I think probably that tank's days are numbered.
No.
Oh no!
and he broke the crew as well, the riders as well.
Yeah.
I think. And now the Piat comes up.
Really wants to take
now the Wasp is the Wasp got it.
Done it. Just done it. You tried the rest, get the best.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, looking like the Canadians got an awful lot to do.
Yeah, that tank caused a lot of problems for them, didn't it?
Yeah.
But ultimately,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, would you swap 2 Shermans for that one German tank? I think you probably would, wouldn't you?
I think you would, yeah.
To keep your Wasp going. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, you only
the
got
Canadians getting into these buildings big time now. Look at that. Smashing their way in. Now German turn 3. So presumably they're all in melee, are they, those guys?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, there's no melee there. You're talking about in L1, L2. It's all just it's all just German weapons.
Oh right, okay. There's no the Canadians are adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, right, so Canadians made a little bit of progress. There's German turn now. Final fire. I'm a bit confused because there's final fire counters on both sides. It is the German turn.
No, that's they're Canadian with German captured weapons.
Oh, right, okay. I have got it now. I understand now. Okay. Yeah, so the Canadians are doing quite well in there, having that building and beginning to move on the E building as well, which looks like it might not be very strongly defended. Yeah, turn 4 now.
Yeah,
Canadian turn 4, right. Broke those, DM those guys.
Oh, he's found a minefield.
Found the minefield. Doesn't seem to have done him any harm.
Yeah, you're right though. It's very, very weakly defended, that.
Yeah. Yeah, so M3 looks quite well defended.
It looks it because there's so many German weapons there.
That's true. H building looks strongly defended.
So the Wasp got stunned.
Yeah.
Anti-tank mines. I don't think you can have anti-tank mines in this.
It doesn't say you can't.
Was that right?
Oh. Yes, there's conversion rate.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's nice then. That's good.
Is it 3-1?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
So this is the only time we've seen that done.
Yeah.
I think the Canadians are going to they're going to have the E building, aren't they? E1. By the time they've done their advances, hopefully, for them. They captured the M building. Do you know, I thought it looked really difficult for the Canadians at one point. But they seem to be.
Oh, they've got all 4, haven't they now? Oh, nearly. No, they've got
1, 2, 3.
They've got it. I've got all 4.
Nearly. Yeah, no, I think they've got.
They've got it.
Yeah, they got 4 buildings. Yeah.
So with 2 turns to go.
Yeah. And they're all broken in the E4, E5 building.
Some dice rolls getting rolled.
Yeah, I think that's the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Germans resigned at this point.
Yeah. Nicely done. Wow. So that was a good one. That was quite an interesting tank battles
impressive
there.
infantry attack as well at the end, with the Canadians pushing in on the left. That looked like a very skillful kind of attack. But it was interesting, the tank battle. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, okay, so all gone. So we had five German wins there, and three Canadian wins.
Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tim, Simon, Dave, Maresk, you and Jim all won as the Germans, as the Canadians. Sorry, and 3. Myself, Doug, and Assad won as the Germans. So,
5 Canadian wins.
5 Canadian wins. Sorry, did I say the wrong way around? Sorry.
I thought you did, but yeah.
Sorry. So five Canadian wins. Yes. Good scenario. Well, good choice from you.
Excellent scenario. Yeah.
We are going to make a draw for the templates thing. We've got the rally points to give away. We've got Mike Grogan and Tim Reed in with a chance of winning that because they uploaded some template files. Whilst you are preparing that,
I've got it here.
Okay.
Ready.
2 seconds. Okay, so just before we do that, I thought what I'd do is show people how to access the Vassal templates on the scenario archive. So if you can see here, we've got the archive up, and basically, if we look down here at the user files section down here, in theory, people can upload the Vassal files as either a Vassal template or a Vassal log file, or even a Vassal setup. And you can see here that Tim has uploaded the Vassal setup, and we can click that, and we'll, if you download that and open it up, you'll see the nice templates file there. So if you do set up a nice templates file, please feel free to upload it to the archive to give someone else a chance. If you spot a problem with one, either let me know and I can get it replaced, or whatever we need to do. But again, thanks to Mike and to Tim for uploading a couple of those. And now back to you, Martin, with the random draw. So we're going to do a random number from 1 to 3. Tim did twice the number that Mike did. So Mike will win on a 1, and Tim will win on a 2 and a 3. So
okay, and I'm going to generate the number right now.
Okay.
3.
So Tim, you have won the pack. So congratulations. I will send that off.
And that's good news for you, isn't it? Because that's the cheapest postage, isn't it?
It's off to Australia again, or New Zealand or something. It's a long way away.
It's Australia, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But well done. Congratulations, Tim. I will send that off to you now. And thank you for doing that. All right, Martin. So we're going to pick the scenario for the next round of the tournament. Again, keeping with the theme of being deluxe. You have picked what? What have you picked?
Better Than Nothing from the latest Winter Offensive pack. And just a minute, Daniela.
Sorry.
And yes, it's a reason about the right size. It's had a small number of playing so far, but it's completely even.
Okay, brilliant. My gardeners have turned up, so you might be able to hear a...
And my sister's just...
Yeah.
Go through, Daniela, get yourself some coffee.
All right, okay. So, okay, we'll say goodbye now then.
Yeah.
Before any noise. Take care. Thanks a lot, guys. Well played for everyone, and we'll see you all
Thanks
soon.
very much.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.